Hey everybody, thank you and welcome to Three Beer Men. And even though there's just two of us right now. But I'd like to thank Val for the lemon over there. Thanks a lot. And why don't you just tell us what you're all drinking? While the chat, so say cheers to you. Oh, Kristen 33 is gonna break out the mead. So
Nice.
And then we'll yeah. For those of you that don't know, I'm Norm, and this is Cosmic Grandpa, and I'm drinking some a beer from a local brewery around here called Golden Road. It's called Balboa Blonde, and I normally don't drink blonde beers, but the picture kind of reminded me of my girlfriend on the cover there. That's how come I picked it up. So
Nice.
It's looks like that. So, what about you? What are you drinking, Cosmic Grandpa?
Well, in the spirit of the theme of the show, I'm drinking the Norseman's Warrior drink. I'm having mead tonight, although unfortunately I could not find my ceremonial drinking horn, so I'm drinking it from a more traditional wine glass. But this is mead from a local meadery here in Pittsburgh called Apis. And that meadery was founded about 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, maybe, by a former brewer from Penn, who you saw on our bumper video last week. And you'll see on another bumper video I've got going this week, coming up in a little bit. His name is Dave, and he runs the meadery. And we're going to talk a little bit about what mead is tonight. Mead, the beer that's not a beer. So cheers, everyone. Tell us what you're drinking and call it out in the chat.
Hey, Squawk Hawk. Hey, J Bell. It's Josie. See a lot of familiar faces. And thanks for the 17 lemons, Hawk.
Nice. J Bell, to answer your question, Bruce will probably join us later in the chat. If opportunity permits. He's been in a little bit late each of the last 3 shows, but he has made us, so he's just got some other things going.
Out of all of us, I think his job is one of the most demanding. So because he deals with animals, and he has to take care of all the family stuff too. So
absolutely. Hawk says Sam Adams, Boston Lager, the traditional original.
Yeah.
There's Rook. Hi, Rook. Good to see you.
Squawk Hawk.
So yeah, while we're waiting for everybody to finish coming in, I know tonight is Oscars night, so I just want to say thanks to everybody who managed to peel yourself away from the Oscars to come and watch us tonight. We'll try and make it worth your while.
Yeah. I know the Oscars aren't as popular as they used to be. So, but thank you for showing up, everybody, and thank you for showing up every week. I really overwhelming sometimes when I think about it. And
yeah, on that note, I was just going to make that that same announcement. So on that same note,
why didn't you do it?
I just want to let you guys know we're proud to announce that this is officially our last show. No, don't panic. It's our last show that's not on the Foxhole app. Starting next Sunday, this time we should be, tech willing, streaming this show on Pilled and Foxhole as well.
And we might be doing some exclusive stuff. Yeah, we might be doing some exclusive stuff for just basically testing before that, but we don't really have a time slot for that. So exclusively
if you see
Foxhole, we're going to be doing.
If you see us pop up on Foxhole before Sunday, it's just a test stream, as Jay Bell likes to say.
Oh, thanks for the diamond, Jay Bell. And thanks for the lemons, Cat 78.
I don't
Okay, why don't we
see that anybody left to
get
go.
started talking about mead?
Interesting. My D Live stopped refreshing for some reason.
D Live. I'm going to see who's over on. If there's anybody over on Twitch, but I can't seem to find my mouse. Oh, there it is. All right.
Yeah, we've got just a smattering of people watching on YouTube and Twitch. Depending on how the YouTube channel shapes up, we may end up having parts of the show where we just go ahead and shut that off for the sake of not incurring any copyright wrath if we happen to play something that for example, has we play Top Gun on the Commodore 64. No doubt YouTube would ding us a copyright strike for the MIDI synthesized SID chip generated version of Highway Through the Danger Zone. So that'll give us a little bit more freedom once we're over there to branch out.
And William, if you want to participate in the chat over on YouTube, there's actually quite a few people over on D Live if you want to find us over there. Just D Live. Let me actually put it in the chat for you. So, or you could just stay over there, I guess, if you want. Saw your comment how, you're alone over there.
So yeah, tonight the subject of the show is mead. As you can see, we're celebrating a little diversity here. Mead is not exactly a beer. It's not exactly a wine, although for the most part it's considered a honey wine. Here in Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, that's its official classification, is honey wine. But then again, this is also the state where the Department of Motor Vehicles does not recognize that there is a such thing as a van. So if you're driving around in a minivan, either you have a truck plate on it, or you're driving around in what the state of Pennsylvania considers a station wagon, which is pretty archaic. So it gives you some idea. Just to throw a little honey wine background out there. Let me see if I can. They're mead, I should say. Little bit of background. As I said, mead kind of exists in its own distinct category because it's not beer and it's not wine, because wine technically is considered to be something that's brewed from fruit of some sort. So if it doesn't have any fruit in it, then it's not wine, and it doesn't have any hops in it, it's not beer.
Or grain, right?
Grain, yeah.
Yeah, it's fermented though, and not distilled, which makes it sort of puts it in the same category.
Yeah, you would think of it in the same category as a wine or a beer because it's just fermented and it's not post-processed, it's not distilled or anything like that. It's just what naturally happens when honey and water are put together. And I think the old recipe that I have somewhere from the 1400s or so, which is really kind of funny, says mix 1 pound honey with 5-gallon water and put in the sun for 40 days. And then after that, set it near a fireplace for some period of time. So that was kind of interesting. But mead has a history that predates the history we talked about on the beer show, because there's actually evidence from 7000 BC, nearly 1,000 years before the first evidence of beer, that mead was being made. The first discovery of mead was probably another one of those accidents, like the guy who stuck the straw into the grain pile and discovered there was a puddle at the bottom that had good stuff in it. The theorized discovery of mead was when somebody found a flooded beehive that had just been laying, on the ground essentially fermenting or rotting for some period of time, and was crazy thirsty enough to actually drink out of it. So that's that's how mead was supposedly discovered.
Oh, I wonder how many animals have gotten drunk off of mead, like bears, not knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, but mead has a very strong association with warriors, in particular Viking warriors. They kind of celebrated mead. I don't know if it was something they drank for courage going into battle or drank to celebrate after battle. I would think it might be something that would be better drank afterwards. But mead was very widely, highly praised all throughout Europe. And actually, the term honeymoon comes from the tradition of a newly married couple spending their first month drinking mead in order to bless their union with children. I guess if you got drunk on 20% every night, yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
I suppose. The Norse associated mead with Odin. They actually had what they called the mead of poetry, which brought out Odin's poetic talents and allowed him to essentially create the most treasured Norse art. All I know is, it'll drink enough of it, it'll make you say something. So that's just a little bit of history there. Meads are typically distinguished by what kind of honey they're used to brew with, because there are only two ingredients, water and honey, and water is water. So didn't really realize until I started to do some research how many varieties of honey there were based on what the bees are consuming, whose pollen the bees are consuming and turning into honey. So you can see this is Apis meadery where I got this yesterday, and you can see they've got 6 different varieties: goldenrod, clover, knotweed, buckwheat, dorsata, and mellifera. I've never heard of that, but none of those things are actually in the mead. Those are the varieties of flowers that the bees used when they were creating the honey that then was in turn used to brew the mead.
When I had tried to make mead, I had a recipe for it. It said orange blossom honey, and
yes,
I only tried to make it once, and then the price of honey just went skyrocketed. So I got to mute real fast. I got a plane flying over. Didn't realize that would be a problem.
Mute there a second myself. So, another little bit of trivia is that you can make mead from pretty much any honey. We have a little story whereby back in 2000, oh gosh, I can't even remember the year now, 14 maybe, we had a bee problem at the brewery. I think I mentioned this in one of the previous shows. And we had a professional come and remove the hive. And when I was doing the research for this and digging through, I managed to find one old picture of the hive. That's the side wall of Penn Brewery. The red circle around that you can see is the entire hive. You can see how many courses of brick that is. So that hive is well over a full story tall. So if you're thinking the hive is in a little hive, with a football shape. No, that was inside the wall. That was after we took down the front wall, and in between the front wall and the back wall, that hive had probably been building up over the course of 25 years or more.
Wow. Yeah, that looks huge. And I see you have a Pooh Bear that got into that.
That was the only picture that I could find that I still had, was a picture that we put up on our Facebook page. as a promotion when the news ran the actual picture of the building, because it did actually make the local paper here. We followed up on Facebook with that picture and said, well, the news didn't see it, but we had an unexpected visitor in the hive.
Wow. So how much mead did you make with that honey?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the yield was. We split the honey. We put some of it. As I mentioned, the fellow who was in our last bumper and who's in tonight's bumper, who worked for the brewery at the time. So he took some of it and actually did a pilot batch for what is now his meadery, which is really a very nice place. If you're ever in Pittsburgh and you get a chance, look up Apis Meadery. Yeah, and they ship as well. So if you get the urge, I'm not really plugging them. I don't have any advertising gimmick. I paid retail price for the bottle here, which was $22.50 for 750 milliliters, a wine-sized bottle.
So is that
So
like more of a wine mead that you're drinking right there, or
yes, meads can come in either variety. They can be brewed so that they come in a carbonated style, which is probably what you're going to get more at your, say, a Ren Fair. If you were to get mead there, they're probably going to be serving. Go ahead.
Yeah, I once got mead at a Ren Fair, and it was really thick.
Yeah,
It's really, really thick, and they made it especially for the Ren Fair.
Yeah, and that's more of a traditional style. The meads that you're going to find mostly are going to be more like wines, so they can come in a sparkling variety, a flat or a still variety, as they call it. They can be dry, they can be sweet. It just all depends on how they're made. I see the chat sharing that information as well, so thank you, Hawk, for being so informative.
Yeah, I think didn't you make some mead once, Hawk? Didn't we have that conversation once, or was that somebody else? Oh well, yeah, I forgot the chat is kind of slow. There's
Yeah,
delay.
yeah, they get just a bit behind. So yeah, so let's see. That's the connection between mead and beehives and Viking warriors and
yeah, it's funny you mentioned drinking out of a horn. There's a brewery here in Northern California called Anderson Valley Brewery, and Anderson Valley kind of has its own language. And every time you get a beer from them, it says ball horning, and that's their language for good drinking. Because people used to drink out of a horn.
Nice.
So a little bit of trivia there. And that language is called bootling if you ever want to look up American language. It's very interesting.
Sounds it. Yeah, I was in search of a drinking horn, but I couldn't get my hands on one in time for tonight's show. So. Besides which, this isn't really the drinking horn kind of mead anyway. This is more the fluted glass kind.
Yep. So, do we ask some questions in the chat now? Anybody in the chat have any questions?
Yeah, Kristen, that's probably the other reason why I don't have a horn tonight, because I'd probably be drooling all through my beard right now.
And thank you for the diamond again, J-Bell. That's kind of you.
No, Val, it's definitely not Zima. If it was Zima, it would have bubbles in it. It's definitely it's not really. It's not carbonated. So
do they still sell Zima? And I don't even.
I looked that up after the last show because it came up. They discontinued Zima a long time ago. And then maybe, I think they said it was 2018. They brought it back for a very limited release. So, who knows with last year if there's still a couple cases of that floating around in the market somewhere. But no, they discontinued Zima a long time ago.
Yeah, that was popular when I was in college.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm not really sure why. I never liked it myself.
Yeah.
What was that made from?
That's a good question. Well, along that line, I do have a bumper tonight. It's not specifically relevant to mead, but it's relevant to that topic right there. Because I'm pretty sure Zima was either made from or had some kind of fruit extract in it. And I think in one of our previous shows, we had a discussion about whether or not fruit beers were good or a bad thing. So I have a little bumper queued up from the actual now owner and operator of Apis Meadery, our former brewer, Dave Cerminara. Should I run that now, Norm?
Sure. I'm about ready to get another beer myself. So.
All right, perfect. Well, while that runs, here we go, guys. It's only about a minute long, Norm, so don't be too long.
Okay. Now.
All right, here it goes.
Right behind me. All right.
All right.
The Malt Minute. Quick answers to your questions about beer. Brought to you by the Penn Brewery. How long have fruit beers been around?
Fruit beers have been around for centuries, even longer than styles of beer using hops. We can accredit the Belgians with starting out the lambics and using fruit first, making sort of sour styles of beer, but only recently has it caught on in the U.S. and become sort of a trendier style of beer.
Can any fruit be used to make beer?
Yes, any fruit can be used to make beer. Think of anything from apricots to pineapples. Every single fruit can be used. Cherry, raspberry, peach are especially popular in Belgian styles of beer. You can even use vegetables to make beer. Think of agave or pumpkin, things like that. Anything with sugar can be made into beer.
What are the most unusual types of fruit beers?
Some of the more unusual types are dragon fruit, passion fruit, watermelon. Watermelon is definitely trending right now, but anything is acceptable to be used in a fruit beer. And the more it's used, the less unusual it is.
Do real men drink fruit beer?
Absolutely. Real men are not afraid to drink fruit beer. Some of my favorite styles of beer are Belgian lambics using cherry, raspberry, peach, and real men do not care what they drink as long as it tastes like great beer.
This Malt Minute was brought to you by the Penn Brewery. Thanks for watching.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that little bit there. Bit of info on fruit beers.
Yep. Sorry,
Anybody
I was listening.
No, that's all right. Anybody in the chat have anything? Any questions on that? Yes, the Hawk, absolutely. Fruit while brewing is exactly what that video was just talking about. Belgian lambics, et cetera, et cetera. Definitely not about stuffing a lemon down the neck of your Corona bottle or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Well.
All right. Well, I think we're ready to kind of open it up to the chat. We're almost at the midpoint of the show. That's where we usually open up the Discord.
Yeah.
Anybody in the chat has anything for us to cover for a little while?
I'm going to put. Oops, I messed up there. Okay. I'm going to put the invite to the Discord chat now. And so anybody that wants to come chat with us, here you go. Or if you're already on the Discord, I know a lot of you are.
Good. The Hawk just said he was on his way, so that's
good.
That's
good.
Good.
Because I would like to talk to him about some of the. I think we did
Absolutely.
Have a
this is
about mead before.
Yeah. This is alternate night, so any expert we can get. Oh, TL's been telling a bit of a Zima story, so maybe he'll come on and tell us the rest of that.
So, for those of you who don't know how this works, when you get into the Discord, you can jump in the waiting room, and then I'll pull you into the on-air one. So, ever you're ready. I don't see anybody there yet, so. So, what is your favorite type of mead, Cosmic Grandpa? I've only had it a couple times.
Yeah, same here. And right now, I haven't tried anything too exotic yet. Just the basic honey meads. So.
Yeah, the price of honey went up so much back in when I was when I was doing home brewing, that it just was way too expensive to make meads because it takes pounds of honey to do it. So and right now a pound of honey is so expensive over here. I don't know about where you are.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everything's getting more expensive by the day, but that's a story we're not going to cover here. Even when we're on Foxhole, we're still going to steer away from that.
Yeah,
we're going to stay. We're going to stay light and loose, guys.
It's just yeah. I guess the bees are rarer now, or rarer. I don't know how you would say it. Are getting more and more rare.
Yeah. I was trying to find a picture of my. Oh, we got someone.
I don't see anybody. TL's reading. He doesn't have. TL doesn't have a Discord, so he can't tell us the epic Zima story. So, you can always sign up for an account, TL, if you want, but I guess there's maybe a reason why you don't want to do that. So.
Oh, I see you're logged in as 3 Beermen tonight. Does that mean you can actually work the lemons?
Oh yeah, I'm logged in as 3 Beermen tonight. Just that's one of the reasons why I logged in as so if it gives you trouble launching the lemons, I'll do it. So I know there's been a few times where I have trouble with that, and the chest is pretty full.
Yeah. Yeah. We need to empty that chest before it busts. There's a.
So yeah, I'll figure out how to add lemons to it. So.
Yeah, we're on rotation on the D Live front page, so I just turned on tablet in case.
So
I won't talk tech
Mr.
issues
Anderson,
here.
do you want to jump in the? Anybody want to jump in? We don't have to talk about beer, you know. I know. I was helping you out, Mr. Anderson, with getting into the Discord earlier this week. I know that you're on there.
There's Kitty Woo. Hi there, Kitty Woo. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling good today.
Yeah. Yep. So what else is going on? Let's is there anything exciting happening over at the brewery?
No, it's that time of year where we're just getting ready for spring. We'll probably be bringing out the Maibach here in a week or so. That's the traditional May beer, and that's the killer beer. We sell that under the brand name Pendemonium, which gives you a little bit of an idea. Although I had a good friend come out, visit from out of town, come into the brewery a couple of years ago. drink a couple of those. Called me the next morning and said, "What the heck were those things called again? Pennerators?" Because I feel like I've been pennerated.
What's the ABV on that one?
About 10. So again, nothing. You're not, nothing that, but it's the strongest beer we brew. So
yeah. Well, no, 10 is a pretty good one. Yeah, I decided to start off light with this one. I forgot to mention it's like a 4.7 alcohol per volume, which most Guans are.
yeah, that's a nice, very reasonable, what we call a sessionable beer.
Yeah, I was quite surprised because I don't normally, I normally like the heavier and the like the hoppier beers, but this one's a good one if you've been doing yard work in the yard all day or something like that.
Nice, refreshing beer. We have a Penn Gold that fits into that category. It's we don't call it a blonde, but it's a Helles, which means it's a very light colored beer.
Yeah, I'm going back to my old favorite, Racer 5.
Racer 5. All right.
Yep. And
I got to do something with this mead.
Yeah, there's a hawk. Walk coming in for a landing. Walk.
Glock 1 here.
You're coming through loud and clear.
All right, good deal. Let me adjust here real quick.
All right. There you are.
Get the camera going right. Okay, I hope they don't catch you with that hat on in Pittsburgh there, Cosmic Grandpa. They might think you're a Viking fan.
Yeah. I don't know. My wife saw it and she said, aren't you afraid somebody's going to mistake you for that guy at the Capitol on the 6th?
Yeah. That's definitely. It's a cool hat, though. I like it. Okay.
Well, and it proves that it is possible to get the idea that you want a Viking hat on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock and have it in time for a 9 p.m. evening show, thanks to Party City. Not an endorsement, just saying.
Ain't that America?
Yep.
All right, so mead. It's been a long time since I messed around with mead. It, I'll be honest, it wasn't one of my favorites. I mean, other people did it better than me, and I would drink that, but the mead I made was, it was, let's just say it stayed on the back of the rack for a little bit till I finished it off. So I was out of other stuff. It can be very good. It can be very not good, just like anything. Just like, any of these things we experiment with, while brewing. have you ever heard, I'm sure you have, I always forget I'm talking to experts. Have you ever made a dunkel or heard of that beer?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I made one of those with maple syrup once. Using that as my total fermentables. Boy, that was a really good beer. I really like dunkels.
I've used maple syrup for priming before, as well as honey, but it's different.
How did that turn out on your priming?
The honey one was good. It was a Hefeweizen, so it was actually really good. The time I did maple syrup, that batch just wasn't good. That was one of my failed experiments, let's say.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was the syrup or not, but that's the last time I did that. So
yeah, we've all got a couple of failed experiments under our,
Well, my first batch was horrible, and there's not. You cry when you wasn't going to drink it, so I had to dump out 5 gallons of beer It was almost made me cry.
Oh, that's the worst, especially if you've got it in a bottle already, because then you got to do all the same amount of cleaning and you don't get any beer. That's the worst.
Well, and that was my first attempt, so that was and I really didn't know what I was doing. So there's something got spoiled in that batch. It just wasn't. It had a funky taste. I just was not gonna drink it.
Just imagine having to toss 1,300 gallons of beer at a time. Fortunately, that hasn't happened too many times, but it has happened once or twice. Our first attempt at brewing a light beer, an actual quote unquote light beer, went straight down the drain. It was like, forget it. We're not even going to serve this. We wouldn't put our name on it.
I remember one batch I lost, and I was upset. I mean, I ended up drinking some of it anyhow, just out of being stubborn. But I did a similar light beer too, and I was because I found I bought several cases of Grolsch, so I had those bottles, with the flip lids.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
I made the batch, and I forgot to put priming sugar in each bottle.
Yeah, there's a name for this.
It did carbonate somewhat, just not enough. It was definitely flattish. I tried everything. I tried to yank it back out of the refrigerator and let it, it just, no. By the time all that happened, it was real skunky. It was and flat. Skunky and flat. Beat that.
One time I tried to make a porter, but I used Cascaic hops because that's all I had. It was almost like an IPA porter. It was I did not like the taste, but I gave a bottle to my neighbor, and he loved it. And so I was like, "Here's the case." He was very nice to me after that.
Yeah. Oh, did you, Norm? Did you check your DMs? I sent you a DM about another idea for a show. I didn't want to blow it for you guys, but I think that would be a topic you can both hit on. And Cosmic Grandpa, of course, can do all the R&D on it.
Okay, I'll check them. Which I have two Discord accounts, so it's kind of confusing. I use this one for the show. I only check it once a week.
No,
did you send it to the other one?
No, I sent it to direct messages under Hang 10 Alien Surfer.
Yeah, I haven't logged into that one today because I was in this one today. So I'll check it.
Well, a bunch of us on this other Discord. Okay, I was a moderator admin on this other Discord, and we got nuked last week. They kicked us all the way entirely off Discord, so I had to go all the way back around. I'm still missing some people and some servers, but that's why I went around. If you got a friend request from me, that's why.
Yeah, and I noticed you are on the Three Beermen server twice, and I'm afraid I don't know which one's which. So I was gonna delete one of them if you no longer have that access to that account.
Yeah, the older account is toast. It's gone. Okay.
If I accidentally delete the wrong one from the server, I'm not trying to kick you out. It's
okay.
Send you another invite.
All right.
You know what I mean?
It's yeah. You know what I'll do is later I will DM you with my current, because if you go to select friends or something like that, it gives you a hashtag and you have to have 4 numbers.
Yeah. I'll try to figure out, because you when I sent you a new invite to this one, I do have your current, but I didn't want to accidentally. I'll just leave the other account, but I don't want to DM you to the wrong account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because that happens to me all the time, because I have an account for this and an account for the Hangton Alien Surfer one is something completely different. So, and that goes for everybody out there in the chat. If I don't answer your DMs, I only check this one once a week, so send it to my other one. So,
yeah.
What do you got pulled up there, Cosmic Grandpa?
It's a little like raise your hand if you're not here. I don't know. Anyway, I was just pulled up the Untapped for pens. Dunkelweiss, which is a Dunkelweizen that we brew. So we were talking about Dunkels earlier, so I just figured I would throw that out there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
So what?
very good beer.
4 out of 5 on Untapped.
I haven't had one in a while. More of a winter beer, right?
I consider all the darks, stouts,
beer,
Dunkels, they're all winter beers to me.
Yeah. We don't really get too much winter out here, so.
Yeah,
That's no excuse. That's no excuse.
Yeah. I know. Well, actually, today is kind of overcast. It's kind of weird for this time of
That's
the year.
winter in California. You can always go up to the mountains. There's snow up there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe I'll just make a trip up to the mountains just to drink the dark beer.
Yeah. That's the best rationale I've heard.
Yeah.
Why not?
So let's ask the chat. Al Kimber's drinking Colt 45. That's a malt liquor. So, are you talking about a different Colt 45, Val? What's your favorite kinds of beers out there in the chat? Oh yeah.
Does anybody remember Mickey's Big Mouth bottles?
Oh
yes. Yeah, those are popular in high school.
How about
There was
Little
your malt.
Kings? How about Little Kings?
I don't remember that.
Don't know that I had that
Little Kings were these little bottles. I want to say they were like 12 ounces or maybe 10s. And as opposed to a 6-pack, you got an 8-pack.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all just like these. It was a good beer. It kind of reminded me of, say, Moosehead.
Oh, okay. Well, 8-pack is better than a 4-pack. It's better to be 2 cans more of a 6-pack than 2 cans short of a 6-pack. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, D-Pack. They did they resemble little grenades. The Mickey's wide mouth bottles. They were sort of grenade shaped. I mean, they were supposed to be barrels. Yeah. The 7 ounces I remember best were Red Grape Malt Duck. That was one that was really popular in the late 1970s. You get a case of them, and it was half a case essentially. So, and they were so not beer. They were fruity, and they were kind of like, I don't know what you call it, red grape malt duck. So grape Zima, more or less.
What was Dad used to get a beer in the 70s, and I don't remember the name of it, but it had a puzzle on the beer cap, on the bottom of the beer cap. Do you remember that
Olympia.
Was that Olympia that did that?
I used to love.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I used to love the Olympia bottles and the Jamaican Red Stripe bottles. That's what I used to use for my root beer because it was like a little root beer barrel.
Yeah,
and
Coors. Coors has sells those bottles now too.
Oh, they have those short bottles?
Anyway.
Well, you have to twist my arm to get me into that stuff, but I'll drink it, I guess. On a fishing trip. That's my excuse.
Yeah. But I like the Jamaican Red Stripe beer.
Yeah, that's pretty good beer. And you wouldn't think in Jamaica beer would be that popular. But they have other brewers too. I mean, when I think of Jamaica, I think of rum.
You kind of broke up there, Hawk. What did you say?
I said you wouldn't think beer would be that popular in Jamaica, but it is. There's more breweries than just Red Stripe. But when I think of Jamaica, I think of rum.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I think there's a drink out there with like 3 rums in it called a Jamaican 10-speed. It's definitely a foo-foo drink. It's like, it tastes good, but I don't want to get caught drinking it in public.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want. Man, you can keep that on. Well, hell, if nobody's watching, throw an umbrella in it and call it mine. You know?
Kind of like a scooter, my friend.
Yeah.
It's fun to ride, but you don't want to be caught riding one. Your friends seeing you driving one.
That and Colorado Bulldogs. If you've ever had one of those drinks.
I don't think I have, and I've been to Colorado quite a few times just to go on beer tasting trips. And I that one doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, it's another foo-foo one, but man, it'll floor you. There's a lot of those out there. There's a lot of those out there, and I think I don't know, maybe everybody goes through the stage, or somebody or others don't, but I think most of us start out on beer and end up on beer. You know?
Well, I don't drink hard alcohol, really. I did a little bit when I was younger, but I just don't like the way it makes me feel the next day. So I try to stay away from it.
Well, and as far as brewing, you know, it's like, yeah, I roll out the. Never mind, I don't want to incriminate myself, but beer and wine are a lot of fun to make. You know, I mean, maybe
they are,
especially at home. I mean, if it's a business like Grandpa's running there, then maybe, you know, there's a little bit more on the line there, and it's maybe a little bit more stressful. But
well, there was a lot of wineries where I grew up, so actually some of the biggest in the world. Where I grew up in Northern California, so I grew up by Gallo, and a lot of the other Gallo is one of the biggest in the world. So and what was the other one? I have a brother that works for a winery actually, and a lot of old glass makes. That's a So wine is fun to make, though.
You know what I never got real.
It's easier.
Yeah, you know what I never really got into or even interested. I did one just to say I did it, but champagne is so overrated to me.
I've never tried a champagne. I just didn't. It uses the special yeast, and there's.
Oh, you got to get a special corker, and then the wire guards for it, and all that. Yeah. I did it once, and then I ended up giving most of that away.
Yeah, I've never tried it because of that corker thing. It does take a special that mushroom shape.
Oh yeah, and then you got to soak them in water for like a week. That
is that how you do it?
That 24, 48 hours BS, man. If you're doing champagne corks, it's going to take you a week to get them soft enough. You got to have a special corker. The bottles are different. And we've all, you know, brewed beer and had it over carbonate because we had it too long or whatever. 6 months is usually about it. And that top's going to pop and it's going to champagne on you. I blew up one champagne bottle just because I wanted to keep it around. I thought, well, I'll have this in, you know, years, you know. Wrong. Didn't happen.
You know, one time for bottles, most times when I use bottles, I'll just like soak these in sanitizer. But one time, Guinness had this it was a bottle. It was like it's a weird shaped bottle. Do you remember when Guinness had that? I tried to use those one time, and they all exploded.
Really?
They all, yeah. They all just blew up. I don't know. Those bottles are thinner or what. And that was the Guinness with the little nitrous thing in it.
I don't remember
what they call it.
I remember the cans that had the little nitrous thing in them. I don't remember the bottles having the nitrous in them.
Yeah, they did sell the bottles for,
did they?
But they were like a curve. They had a curve. It was like here. It was like a curve to it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, they're just cheating you out of beer when they do that.
I know, because I looked at the. It was like 11 ounces and not 12.
Right.
That's something you have to watch out for now. There are a lot of 11-ounce bottles out there.
Yeah, and there are. I've called out bars that serve pint glasses, and the glass on the bottom is like that thick, and I was like, "This isn't a true pint. This isn't 16 ounces. This is 12 ounces."
Bennigan's used to be notorious for that.
Yeah.
More like 11 or 11 and a half. Yep, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So out there in the chat, watch out.
Yeah. Speaking of watching out, watch out for reusing those commercial beer bottles, because commercial beer bottles are really only designed to hold the amount of pressure that a finished beer that is not going to sit and ferment in the bottle is going to put out. The glass isn't really designed to be thick enough to handle in-bottle fermentation.
Well, that's like I said, I learned that the hard way. So I know which ones to use and which ones not to use anymore.
Yeah. Our bottles are all the same, and we do Weizen 4 times a year that bottle finishes. So that means our glass is definitely thick enough to handle it. But
yeah, I know this one bottle finishes, and when I was at Sierra Nevada, their brewery, I've taken that tour quite a few times. They said that they do that too. So
really, because
bottles I stick with.
Because I thought Sierra Nevada was a twist top.
No, not around here. They might have a twist top. But I've never.
It seems like I remember the pale ale having one, but this was years ago. They may have.
I had one last week on the show, so okay. Yeah, I know for a fact they're not.
Okay.
And they might. Yeah. I don't know. I know there's some breweries that do have twist tops and open. Like I don't know if you ever watched that show. The one about Dogfish Head, but they accidentally ordered the twist top bottles, and they had a seasonal beer that was their pumpkin spice, and they accidentally put the bottle. They capped it with the traditional cap.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And then they, yeah, and that was like one of the most popular beers. And they said to the employees, if you want some, here's a case. We can't sell this, so they gave it away to their employees.
Yeah, in a pinch before though, I've actually, like when I was first collecting bottles, or I'd over kicked my coverage. I'd brewed more beer than I had bottles for.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to collect bottles, but
take regular twist tops. I've done.
Yep.
Yeah, but
you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're better now.
Okay. Yeah, I really like.
You're a robot again.
Grolsch bottles, because they were so much easier to deal with. Is there anybody else waiting to jump in and chat from the Discord? You can pull somebody else in.
Oh no, there's nobody else.
Yeah, nobody in the waiting room, but come on in, guys.
I think our conversation intimidates people. We don't have to talk about beer if you want to talk about something else.
Okay, let's talk about
just some.
Let's go back to
mead stories. Yeah.
I tried to find it earlier, but I couldn't. Deepak is in the chat, but I've got a picture somewhere of my grandson on his great grandparents' estate, where they raise bees, and he's in his beekeeping outfit. They did a honey retrieval.
I've always wanted to try that, but usually the significant other I'm with doesn't want to do it.
Deepak's got a jar of the real stuff, freshly harvested.
So I'm going to get another beer real fast. I know we only have a few minutes left in the show. Well, no, I'll wait. But we only have a few minutes left in the show anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure in 3 minutes or so, we'll probably hear the mystery ship out there.
Yeah. Everybody go over to. Should I try to release the lemons now?
What do you guys think, chat? Should we release the lemons? There's 21 people out there. You guys want some loot?
Yeah. How do I add lemons here? Oh, there. It's just okay.
Yep, you can just.
I'm gonna add some. I'm gonna add some lemons. I'm gonna add what 500.
Yeah, yeah. I made the mistake of adding lemons to the chest a couple weeks ago before I realized I couldn't release them. And once they're in the chest, they only last a week. So if you put them in now, we gotta let them. We gotta let them go tonight.
All right. I'm gonna add 500 and try to.
Eddie says yes. Cap says yes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's see what I can do. Oh, it looks like I don't know. It just disappeared. So, oh, maybe I here. Oh, distribute. Then I have to distribute. I see what I did. Okay, just figuring this out. Distribute
Okay,
reward.
I totally froze up on this end. Are we back?
You're frozen.
600 lemons across 21 people. You guys are in for a jackpot tonight. I'm half tempted to click the button myself, but I'm going to leave them for
I'm
you
not
guys.
logged in as me. So I'm not gonna. We'll see who.
Somebody's going to be the big winner, that's for sure.
All right.
Can you hear me
Yes,
now?
Josie. What? You're breaking and but we're almost at the end of the show, but you're frozen, Hawk. Okay. The big winners tonight are Just Josie, Deepak Shakur, Kristen 33, J Bell, and Kitty Woo. So congratulations.
Well, J Bell's given us so many of those lemons. It's great to be able to get back.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna say that, and yeah, Kristen 33 just gave us some things back, and Tupac Short gave us a diamond, so, which is like almost, yeah, getting us back the lemons. So, so
that's great. Hey, we can do it again next time. Yeah, let's see.
We got. All right, so we got Zozo starting. So, oh, and J Bell just gave us another diamond. She gave us all the lemons back. Thank you, J Bell. I think we lost Hawk. He's frozen on my screen. I don't know about your screen.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, it's been a great show. Thanks everyone for coming. Hope you enjoyed that more than the Oscars.
Yeah, and yeah, go over and check out Zozo's show.
Yeah, everyone, enjoy your beer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Kitty Woo, I'm in the same boat, Kitty Woo. I can't get any more lemons either. D Live won't let me get any more either. So I'm glad we could give you some.
That's not just me. They won't take my I can't buy them anymore. So is that
nope? Same
that
here.
All about?
Change of payment methods. Now they want to get you on that. I forget what they even call it now. Starts with an S. But they want to get you on their payment system now. Okay. And I won't give their payment system my payment info.
Okay.
So
I can't get lemons anymore either. So
yeah,
for my own account. So I had like one in there because yeah. So all right. Well, cheers. Enjoy your beer. Until next time. on Foxhole, maybe.
We will see you on the Foxhole next week. Good night, folks, and
Yep.
we are out. Oh, you got one more, Norm?
Kristen. Well, no, Kristen33 just gave us 7 lemons back. So almost everybody that won lemons are giving them back to him, giving us some back. So
There it is.
Thanks.
J-Bell dropped a tip. You don't have to get on Skrill. There is another way to do it. I just haven't found it yet, but I will. So thank you, J-Bell, for that bit of advice. Maybe I'll be able to get lemonized again.
Oh.
All right. Well, enjoy. And on that note, this time we are out.